How does Ubisoft do this magical thing where they release nothing but mediocre schlock for about 10 years and then release one of the best games I've played in over a decade? How do they do it? Because that's what they've done with Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I'm telling you, it was that good. I basically 100% completed it, apart from like one side quest that bugged out on me, and you know, the bunch of collectibles that no one wants to read, because no one likes reading, let's be honest. I'm not kidding, it's right there. Check that out, 91.2% or something like that. That took me about 23 hours to do, and I started playing it 2 days ago. Bit sad, but hey, I was looking for jobs at the same time, so multitasking. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. But yeah, this is definitely one of the best Ubisoft games they've ever made. And especially the best Ubisoft game made in over a decade. It is phenomenal. Everything about it, apart from one key fucking thing that I knew would be a problem when the first cutscene started. Okay, we'll get to it. First off, let's address the elephant in the room. When Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown got announced, the hate was my favorite thing. The hate was outrageous, okay? The reveal trailer for the game got like 40,000 dislikes to like 5,000 likes or something like that. So people automatically writ this game off. But I didn't, because I'm a real gamer and I saw potential in Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I'm glad I did. First off, it doesn't follow anything that is related to Prince of Persia really whatsoever, apart from the fact that you need to save Persia. Yeah, that's pretty much it, from my understanding of the game. And so I can totally understand why long-term fans of Prince of Persia that have been waiting for a new Prince of Persia game to come out would be naturally pissed off about it, okay? But that doesn't mean you write off the game, because trust me, you're missing out on an absolute fucking banger. So don't write it off, just play it, give it a shot. But this time around you play as someone called Sargon. Sargon is a member of the Immortals. The Immortals are a group of like super cool people that like kill people, and they're like really good at stuff. That's what the Immortals are. That is the best way to summarize them, and they're all mentally unstable, apart from like 2 of them, which is pretty interesting. Sargon's got a bit of an ego here, okay? Sargon's your main character, and you play as him right from the beginning when he does like a really heroic act which involves a lot of murder. Bosh. And then I can't spoil why, but you end up going into this city that is cursed in a way that like time doesn't work the same, and you go on this epic adventure where you're going through all these locations in this Metroidvania game, and you're going to be unlocking time powers, you're going to be killing new enemies, and you're going to be fighting some of the coolest bosses I've fought in years, man. In years. Some of the boss fights alone are worth the fucking price of entry, man. Like, it's like £40 or something like that, so like $45 or something. It's a lot of money for a Metroidvania 2D game. But at the end of the day, it's just the presentation of the game that is stopping people from buying it at that price. The presentation, I think, is fantastic. Just because it's 2D doesn't mean it's worth less, okay? 2D games have just as much effort put into them as 3D games, okay? And trust me, once you play this, you'll turn into a 2D game lover, because, my god, everything about this game just works. Let's talk about it. First off, movement. Movement in this game is flawless, apart from one key issue that I personally had because I'm shit at the game. We'll get to it. But the movement in this game feels so damn good. You move at such a fast pace that you're going to be going through all these different areas at breakneck speed. Like trust me, if you stop, you crash and burn, okay? You just keep moving, you keep moving, especially towards the end of the game, once you really understand the map and understand how the movement works. Trust me, you could just like you're fucking Sonic or the Flash or something. You're just gone, you're out, you're gone. And you combine all that with jumps, double jumps, some really cool time powers that I'm not going to spoil once again, and it really all comes together within like the last 5 hours of the game once you unlock all the abilities you could possibly get. Trust me, once it all comes together, it's like one of the best movement systems I've used in a 2D game ever. And these are the guys that made Rayman Legends. If you remember that, Rayman Legends, I think it was 2014 it came out, I think so. I think it was also on the Wii U, wasn't it? I had the Wii U. Oh, what a console. Oh god, Wii U. Secondly, combat. Combat is going to have you like, the combat is fucking amazing, man. Amazing. You've got a ton of combos here that you could combine multiple times. So you've got your basic combo, which is like a free hit where you spam X or square, whatever you're using. X, you stab. Cool. Nice and easy. Then you got air attacks. and you combine air, ground, middle combos, time power combos, bows, all sorts, all together. And when I can't express it without spoiling it, it's like a lot, but once you unlock the time powers, as I keep saying, the amount of creativity you can put into this combat system, it's on the level, not, well, just under the level actually, of a Devil May Cry game. In a 2D Metroidvania game, the combat is almost on the level of Devil May Cry. What? How is that possible? I don't fucking know. Ubisoft managed to do it. It's fucking amazing. Now, there is some caveats to the combat system. You don't have any real like customization over your sword aesthetics or your bow or any selection of weapons. You've got your swords and you've got your bow. That is it. That's all you've got. And then you combine them with your time powers to create something a bit more interesting. Like I said, I'm not going to spoil it. The best way I could put it is that Ubisoft knew having 2 weapons isn't going to be enough in this game, so they had to get creative with what you can use as an offensive or defensive weapon. And they really let you fly, man. Wow, they don't let you fly. I mean, wait, technically, no, spoilers. Let's not do that. The enemy variety is really damn good. Like every area, like so you got like a forest area, then you've got like catacombs, then you've got like super high up in the city. Every area has unique enemy designs that all have different move sets and different ways to take them out. There are you know, your basic like enemies for each section of the map where you could just run up to them and just stab, but that you know, every game's got to have that. But when you get to the tougher enemies, you can really start to suffer a little bit if you haven't upgraded your character. And bear in mind, I played on normal difficulty, which is the recommended way to play the game. If anyone goes into this game on a mortal difficulty, or whatever it's called, the hardest difficulty, and they've never played the game before, they're gonna suffer. I've seen some people say it's as hard as Elden Ring. I wouldn't know. I haven't played Elden Ring, and I haven't played Skyrim either. Oh my god, Sticky Man, what are you doing with your life? I'm living it. So I haven't played those games yet, but I will. I might play Elden Ring tonight, actually. Prince of Persia's really got me going. But each enemy looks different. Each boss fight is fucking amazing, as I've just said. You know, you got some boss fights that are a bit easier, because obviously you got the tutorial. But, like, once you get to that final boss fight in this game, my god, it all just comes together. You got your different time abilities. You got just the way you have to fight this boss. You know, it makes you really does make you shit yourself. Now, yes, like every difficult game, I guess, there are some cheap shots when it comes to difficulty. First off, with the platforming, the hitbox is a little bit inconsistent. I didn't see any reviewers talking about this for some reason, but when you go to the platforming sections, and there's certain sections where you have to do it pretty much pinpoint perfectly, I did have quite a few moments where the environment killed me, technically, when I just did it beforehand and didn't die. So like the hitboxes are pretty inconsistent sometimes, but it's not enough to really take away your enjoyment, at least, you know, for a while, until you've died like 25 times. Once you've died 25 times, you're really at your fucking wit's end. But eventually you'll do it. Just take a breath, go have a cup of tea, go have a smoke if you smoke, come back and just do it again, and you'll do it first time. It's pretty amazing. It's amazing what the human mind can do, man. And nicotine. But yeah, the bosses as well. There are, you know, they're boss fights. They're meant to be tough, okay? They're meant to be tough, and I admit that. But some of the moves in this game, it can be very unfair. It's one of those games where you're going to have to die at least once to learn the moveset, which is fine. But it can get very annoying. But going back to the platforming bit, there is one puzzle in this game that drove me up the fucking wall for multiple reasons. One, this puzzle is almost impossible to do first time. It's like a time challenge, not a puzzle, but it technically counts as a puzzle. And I died like 50 to 75 times to this one puzzle because it's a game about memorization. And it's very fucking difficult because you never know when the last like challenge is going to pop up. It does one thing, then it does another thing, then it does another thing. It's one of those things, it just constantly happens, and you don't know when it's going to end. And there's so much to memorize, and it just drove me up the fucking wall. And do you know what I got for my trials and tribulations? You know what I got for spending 75 deaths on this challenge? I got the color purple. I got the color purple. No, why? And that is like the last like real issue I have, apart from the big one that I'm going to talk about, and that's the rewards for the challenges. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown doesn't really have many worthwhile rewards in the game. There are 3 kinds of rewards that you really want. You've got these health upgrades, so they're called Soma Tree Petals, I think they're called, and they basically upgrade your health so you get bigger health bar and take more hits. Hits! 2, you got these like ingots, which you use to upgrade your swords and your bow. They're vital. I highly recommend you get them. And then 3, you got these like coins called Xerxes. Xerxes. I only accept Xerxes. Once you play the game, you know what I mean. Xerxes. I want some Xerxes. Those are the 3 important things to collect. There are other things to collect, like actual collectibles, but even I couldn't collect them all. I could not be bothered. They don't turn up on the map. I got most of them. Like, I got 91%, so, you know, it is what it is, but I can't be asked to collect all that. Get the fuck out of here. I can't be asked. So, yeah, that's really the only other negative that I have, is that the rewards for the challenges for pushing through can be a little disheartening because of what they are, especially when you get the color purple. I don't want the color purple. I'm spending 75 deaths on something. I want something substantial, like a new ability or something, but hey, it is what it is. And the final problem is this fucking story. I like the story. I like the premise. I like the idea. But it is the execution of the story that really lets it down quite a bit. 1, the voice acting is actually surprisingly good.
Alright, you are really not her type.
Whose type?
Ah, the kid finally decided to join us.
The hero of the day. The Queen's new protege.
So, you're mingling with aristocracy now.
It's surprisingly good, but there are a lot of moments where you're like, oh, fucking hell, really? Could you not just redo that line? You thought that was good and you just let it go? Why? Why are you doing this? That's one of the issues with it, but the actual plot itself is kind of messy. So, with minimal spoilers, Sargon and the Immortals get sent to this place to go rescue the prince, okay? He's kidnapped by someone that I won't spoil. And throughout the game, twists and turns take motion, and this twist happens completely out of the blue. You kind of know it's coming. You can just feel it. You can feel it within like the first 10 minutes of the game. You're like, I don't know, this is too good to be true. That twist happens, and then another twist happens, and then you go chasing like these guardian things, and then the game ends. It's very, very, very rushed in a sense with the story. The game itself is perfectly fine. It's paced perfectly, but the story, if you're a story person, this is not going to scratch that itch. Because yeah, the story, all in all, it's like a 2.5 hour, 5 hour story really, with dialogue and, you know, cutscenes. It's really not the vocal point here. It's a Metroidvania, so you should expect that. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is a game's game. It's a game. It's not a story game. It's not a AAA story game. It's not, you know, The Last of Us, Uncharted, God of War. It's a game's game. You play it for the gameplay. You don't play for the story. I know it's crazy, but you play it for the gameplay. And my god, it was refreshing as shit. Like I said, didn't play Elden Ring, so this is like the first games game I've played in a very long time. And yeah, that's just the negatives. But I think I've made my points very clear that the game is very good. 2024 could be a very good year for games. It could be a terrible year for games, but it completely depends on what kind of quality games come out this year. But Prince of Persia right now is my favorite game of the year so far. It's only January, so bear with me. But yeah, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Like the video if you did, subscribe if you haven't already, and maybe join the Discord down in the description. Just click the link and join. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And cheerio.